Karate Kid Legends is now showing in cinemas, so here's my review of Karate Kid Legends. I grew up with both Karate Kid movies. In 2010, Jaden Smith's Karate Kid movie was playing in theaters, while the original Ralph Macchio movie was on Cartoon Network of all places. So I don't really remember which one I saw first, just that I saw them both. And when I heard they were making a new Karate Kid and this new movie would somehow combine or canonize both films in one universe, or as Daniel LaRusso puts it, make these movies two branches of the same tree, I got excited. Because the idea of these two becoming one was very interesting to me. Just a quick side note, does anybody remember a restaurant called Karate Kid? No idea if they're still around, but I remember this restaurant in Walter Mart, Makati, and I just wanted to know if anybody else remembers this. Anyway, back to Karate Kid Legends. In this movie, we follow Lee Fong, student and nephew of Shifu Han. When his mother gets a job at New York, Lee has to leave China and Kung Fu behind to start a new life in the Big Apple. But like the Karate Kids that came before him, trouble always seems to follow the Karate Kid. So to help him, Shifu joins forces with Daniel LaRusso to teach Lee both Kung Fu and Karate. Let's start with the positives first. Wang was great as the new Karate Kid Lee Fong. Someone in the movie describes him as Chinese Peter Parker, and I found that description very fitting because like Peter Parker, he's very likable and there's an everyman quality to him. He can also really bring it when it comes to the action sequences, which you definitely need to if you're gonna be the new Karate Kid. I also thought him and Sadie Stanley, who plays his love interest Mia in this movie, had so much chemistry together. Another thing I really liked was the unique visuals of this movie. I think they do a really good job of making this movie visually stand out from the previous Karate Kid movies because this movie has cool animated graphics that show up on screen from time to time. I want to say it's like Spider-Verse meets Love and Monsters and Suicide Squad, and I thought that was pretty cool. The action sequences in this movie were also great. There's this one particular fight scene in an alleyway, and I thought that was really cool. But we obviously can't talk about this movie without talking about our two legends joining Lee Fong in his corner, Jackie Chan as Shifu Han and Ralph Macchio as Sensei Daniel LaRusso. I thought these two had great chemistry, and seeing them banter back and forth was really fun. Wang was also able to hold his own when paired up with these two legendary actors. Quick side note, whenever Lee Fong calls Mr. Han Shifu, I can't help but think in my head, Shifu, that's Master Monkey. Now, Karate Kid is all about balance, and to quote Daniel LaRusso again, I'm all about balance. And now that we've talked about the positives, let's talk about the things I think they could have improved upon. This movie was super fast-paced, maybe a little too fast-paced for my liking. The events that happen in this movie take place in around 7 days, so everything goes by so fast. So fast that it's to the point where you don't really feel the journey and change that Lee Fong goes through. I know I praised the interactions between Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio earlier, which, don't get me wrong, is still great, but I do wish Daniel LaRusso had a better reason for getting involved in this story. The writing is almost a little too convenient because Daniel sorta just joins in because Shifu Han tells him to. There wasn't really a personal stake for Daniel in this movie. This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but Daniel gives Lee his bandana, and because this movie was really fast-paced, you don't really feel like he and Daniel have gotten close to the point that he's earned that bandana. Unlike the previous Karate Kids, Lee already has a base knowledge of Kung Fu, and the movie doesn't really do a good job of explaining why he also needs to learn karate. The Karate Kid movies are also known for giving us some of the greatest bullies in cinematic history. And this movie does try at the beginning, but as the movie went along, the main bully kinda loses his personality. He was really good in the first half, but as the movie kept going, he got lesser and lesser lines and screen time to the point where he sorta just stares at Lee Fong from time to time just to remind you that he's still in this thing. I really wish there was more tension between these two leading up to the final fight. Overall, I'd say this movie was alright. If you're here for the fun, nostalgia-fueled references, I think you'll have a good time. I like the new characters and all, but I do wish this movie slowed down a bit more and gave Daniel a better reason to be involved. This movie strikes first and strikes hard, which, much like the pacing, is quick like a cobra, but we all know that isn't the Miyagi way.